ballcancer.com sponsors us. And I belong to a couple twit health things, but they fucking scare the shit out of you. They give you all these statistics, like one, if you're 63, you're going to get what's the pancreas cancer in your
pancreatic cancer.
Prostate
cancer.
Prostate cancer as a man, so you go into these physicals, and at that point, the fucking fear of having cancer overtakes the blood test thing.
Yeah.
And I went in there last week. You can't eat before you fucking go in there, which kills me. I got to eat 10 minutes after I get up. I try to stay up late, so I wake up late. Fuck no. The needle wakes me up thinking about I got to go for a physical. I get up. I got to sit there for 3 hours starving. Got to drive myself down there, and the guy puts you down. And I just can't believe that today I was having lunch and the doctor called me. And he goes, that thing is a bacteria. I gave you pills for it. But everything else is fucking dynamite. I go, really? The blood and everything? Because you're expecting the fucking kiss of death call. You're expecting to have something come down and see us, bring your insurance paperwork.
I know.
Bring a guy.
That is the worst fucking phone call.
So you're always expecting the worst, but then when you get the best, you feel really good. And after I take a blood test, to me, it's like hitting the fucking lottery. Because nobody knows the amount of self-discipline it takes me to drive myself to that motherfucker. You know what I'm saying? Like, nobody knows how many things go through my mind from Studio City to the 101 and Vine.
Yeah.
Like 1,000 thoughts, how I can make a U-turn, how I left the candle on.
Yeah.
It's fucking amazing,
Yeah.
And when I get there, as I'm paying, I'm thinking about it, I'm like, maybe I should run right now. And once they say Jose Diaz, you're doomed. You walk back there, she throws you this fucking pajama with your asshole sticking out, and you can't turn back from there. But I did turn away from the tetanus shot. He goes, you're due for a tetanus shot. I said, Doc, you can't throw those in on me last minute. You gotta let me think about those motherfuckers. I'll see you in like 2 weeks. Yeah, they want to throw a tetanus shot in. We're just doing blood today, all right? Nobody said nothing about no fucking tetanus shot. You're going to squeeze, but they squeezed my nuts, and I'm happy that we have ballcancer.com because it made me aware of that. And I always have like pain in my nuts and shit from time to time. Like sometimes I'm on a computer and I'll sit on a nut by mistake. Like I won't wear underwear or something. Felicia, do you know the pain when 300 pounds sits on a fucking nut?
Poor nut, Joey.
Oh, please. And my nuts are long, so that one cheekbone sits right on it. It's like a fucking hammer hitting a peanut. I'll sit there for 20 minutes breathing, looking at the wall while I'm seeing stars. You don't know what it is to get kicked in one fucking particular nut. So, and then people have been twitting me because I put the nut picture up on my Twitter as my avatar. I guess that's what they call it. We don't like your avatar. So here you go, cocksucker. I put a ball picture up of this. And a lot of people would twit me back going, your one right ball is bigger than the other. Yeah, I told you dummies that. That's what happens when you're right-handed. So, listen. The bottom line is I'm fucking happy that the physical came back and I'm all right.
All right.
That's the point. I don't know what the way you...
Well, you know what was funny is I was on the computer the other day and I was on Twitter and then I went to your Twitter and one of my sons walked up and then there were your balls and they just kind of looked at it and I was all like, I can't even tell them that I took the picture of your balls.
No, you can't tell them. You can't tell them. They just looked at it?
They were just looking at it. I was all like, so what, yeah?
People have left me on Twitter. Like I've said, Joey, I love you, but I can't look at your balls. I have to unfollow you. And I wish them good luck. Maybe a ball sack early in the morning is not for them. Me, I'm trying to make a fucking statement. You know what I'm saying? We're working from our nutsack here. We ain't fucking just spitting into the fucking wind here.
You have to do whatever you have to do.
Yeah, sometimes you got, Twitter, Facebook won't let me put the ball picture up, which is a fucking shame. I'm convinced that Zuckerberg is a fucking communist. They really are. I think they are communists. It's not, I told you, it's socialist fucking network. They're commie motherfuckers, bro. They're just trying to put you all fucking together, grouped up. Pretty soon we're going to have numbers on our fucking foreheads. Watch, man. I don't like that fucking Facebook no more. But Twitter's all right. You can light yourself. Listen, you can put a picture of lighting somebody on fire. The other day, I clicked on somebody's link. And it was her showing her fucking pussy on all fours. Taylor Vixen. I couldn't fucking believe it.
Oh, yeah?
A pussy shot. And I'm not talking about like a pussy shot from far away. I'm talking about on all fours with the camera focused on that asshole.
Wow, because a pussy is pretty hard to light correctly. It's not the most attractive thing. I mean, generally, to me, a pussy just looks like,
That's what's funny about
Don
the other day.
Knotts' face,
when I went to the doctor, when he stuck a finger up my ass, 2 nights later, I was walking in the bathroom naked, and my wife goes, you have a pimple on your ass? Let me get that for you. And I go, leave it there.
Oh, no, stop it.
And as I went in the shower, I was taking a shower. I think I was meeting you that night to go down to George Perez's. And I was thinking about how the doctor stuck a finger in my ass and saw that pimple on my ass cheek. And for the first time, I felt like a stripper with that pimple on her ass, and nobody wants to tell her. You know, that was the most disturbing thing to me about strip clubs, was going into a strip club and seeing like a chick with a tight white head. Because there's a big difference on white heads. There's white heads that just look like blah, but there's white heads that are just tight. You know there's a fountain of pus in there. Like they have that little black head in the middle, and the pus is surrounded on their ass cheek, and they're giving you a private dance, and you want to give her an extra 10 just to pop it. You gotta do me a favor, stop dancing. I just want you to pop that fucking, let me just pop that zit for you one time. You know what I'm saying? So you know how embarrassing that is?
To pop it.
After somebody finger bangs you and you have a fucking pimple on your ass, you know how bad that is? Seriously, then I let her pop the pimple because I don't want to walk around with her.
So your wife did pop the pimple?
Sure, she felt bad for me. She's like, you can't leave the house with that pimple on your fucking, it was right on my ass cheek. Wow. She goes, it was huge. And I felt something. Sometimes you sit on a pimple, you don't know what the fuck it is. Right. For like 3 days, you're like, what's that pain, you know? Then you're fucking soaping up down there, and there's like a lump on your leg. You're like, what the fuck is this shit? You know, and you pop it, you know, the rest is history. No more pain.
Oh, my God.
What's the problem here? I'm talking to you.
I think I'm about to faint.
I'm talking to you from the heart here. What, you never had a pimple on your ass?
No. Did you ever go on the internet and look for, they have videos about people popping their pimples, and some of them are pretty fucking gross. My kids clued me in on that. They're like, hey, look at this. And I was like, oh, my God. It's disgusting.
Well, here's the problem. When you're 10, you can't wait to get a pimple because that means you're evolving as a man. Like when I was a kid and I started getting pimples, I knew it was on. I knew my hormones were moving, that fucking testosterone starts coming out of your fucking face. You start growing, the wolf man grows over your cock, you start getting that beard. You're all happy. Your voice changes. What? Don't look at me like that, Felicia. It's true. Once you start, my mother used to associate pimples with jerking off. Cubans,
oh really?
When you were a young kid, associate pimples. So once you start getting pimples, they're like, you're having a good time, aren't you? You've been knocking yourself up there. So it's kind of fucking weird. What's on your mind, you sexy thing?
Well, as I said earlier, when I should have been recording correctly, my son and I, we built that skateboard ramp. I know you saw it out there. It was hard, Joey. It was really hard.
When you told me Friday night you were doing this, like I said, I made a mental note not to answer the phone when you called on Saturday. Because what were you getting yourself into? But, you know, Felicia, my wife and I had to talk about you last week, and we were talking about how much you try as a mom. You really keep your kids down to earth, like that fucking train ride you committed to. What is this?
Oh, you mean the one I didn't go to because I had to cancel it? And the coach in the section with
Puerto Ricans in the back. What are you kidding me? But
no, I'm going to take it.
I appreciate you because it's very easy for you to say, you know what, I'll get the best cart and with champagne or whatever. You're making your kids sit there like fucking they're on their way to Nazi Germany. You know what I'm saying? I like that on the train. But you want to show your kids different things. And that's really important when you're trying to level your child out. I wish somebody would have leveled me out. It's not just the color. The world is just not one color. You know, there's a different world out there. And it's funny, you know, I'm trying to write a book, and I was you never fucking think of shit. And I was thinking about when I was a kid, thank God that my mother hooked me up with that lady on 148th Street. Thank God, Felicia, because as a kid, you know, my mother didn't want me to do nothing. When you're Spanish and you have a child, he's like a Latin prince. You know, God forbid he has to wash his own underwear or his bathroom. And when I went up there, I seen, you know, I had my own bedroom, Felicia, with an air conditioner, my own color TV. And I went up to 148th Street, and here's kids with, you know, 8 kids in the family. And I'm talking about the Cedeños. I was thinking about this family, the Cedeños. I hung out with Ricky, and he had a brother. He had 9 brothers and sisters. They lived in a 2-bedroom, you know. And my mother, whenever my mother would get mad at me, she'd go, you don't know how fucking lucky you are. And I go, fuck you. In the back of my mind, you know, we all think you know better.
Right.
And I go up there to spend 3-4 weeks with those kids. You know, I would just wake up in the morning, go to my mother's drawer and take $2 out. Those kids had to fucking wake up, go to storefronts and ask them, can I sweep in front of your storefront or pull the garbage cans in or wash your windows? That's what these kids did in the morning. You know, so seeing that really taught me the other side of the fucking coin. Wow, this is amazing. And I like that you really take the time to do that. You know, you could have hired somebody for $50 to put that ramp together.
Oh yeah, it was hard.
It's fucking hard, Felicia. It's hard. Like I told you,
what was really cool though? It was cool just to do it together with him. That was cool. Like I thought that it was gonna be like me just turning into a complete bitch and storming off, and then quietly paying someone a week later. But you know what? It was like a point where I wanted to give up, and he's like, "No, we can keep going, and let's do it."
They helped you. No, it was
and there was a point
thing.
where he was, not listening and putting the drill down safely. Where I was like starting to be a bitch, where I was just like, just make it fun, and it was awesome.
It's crazy. 20 years from now, they're gonna remind you about that day.
Yeah.
When you're having a bad day.
Right. Yeah.
They're gonna say, "Mom, remember that time we bit the ramp and I stepped on your finger?"
Yeah.
Because something had to happen. Anything happened? Did you lose a screw?
Yeah.
Did somebody stick a screw in their ear? Something always happens when you're building that type of shit. And that's why I say, I've talked about this before on the podcast when I went to that band thing. And when I walked in that time, and there was a mom on her hands and knees telling the little boy, "Don't worry about your dad, I'm here." Mm-hmm. And she was dressed up as a heavy metal mom. I had to fucking leave because I was so taken about what comes into a single mom's life. What really comes into a single mom's life. They're going to come home when they talk about football, and there you are going, "I don't fucking know about football." Next thing you know, you're going to be on Wikipedia with a fucking helmet on one day. I'm going to come here and you're going to be talking about fourth downs. That's what a mom does.
Yeah.
Because if not, you won't be in their life. You grow out of their life, so you got to play.
No, because especially now, it's like you start to see, oh wow, they're going to be out quicker than you think. So
the other day we were on stage. We went down to George Perez's, and you were talking about what's the game you were talking about on stage? That you get down with your kids and play Hand of Doom 4,
Call of Duty. Yeah, Call of Duty.
And I was looking at you going, yeah, I get it.
Yeah.
You have to.
Yeah.
You have to understand what they're fucking doing.
Oh,
you got to get down. You got to get down,
yeah,
Felicia, today. Because if not, you'll miss it.
Yeah.
These parents that don't know what the fuck is really on a computer, there's a lot of shit on a computer.
Yeah, it's kind of...
There's a lot of shit on the computer. A lot of shit on the computer. A lot more than I fucking ever anticipated. So you really gotta stay with your fucking kids. I mean, how many parents?
Can you imagine it, Joey? That when we were a kid, if somebody would have came up to us and said, "We're gonna give you a device that'll answer all your questions," maybe, right? Just anything you could look up. That would have blown your mind as a kid. Can you imagine how that would have changed your whole life? Any question you had with everything you went through, and there was a magic device that could give you answers to pretty much everything. Why do I masturbate? Why do I have a pimple? Well, what is drug laundering? What is running numbers? Who, you know what I mean? Like everything you could have looked up when you're a kid. Imagine how much different you would be as a person.
You think
it's
of
crazy.
the kids, how much resources they had. When you and I were in the 7th grade, and we were asked to do a book paper on Denmark. Mm-hmm. We went to a library. We took out an encyclopedia with D, and then we found 3 other books in the Dewey catalog system, which you guys don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about. Is that what it was called, Princess?
By the way, that's what I'm going to change the name of my vagina to.
The what?
The Dewey catalog system.
What was the name of that again? Was it really the Dewey catalog system? Please, at home, look it up. I'm half fucking retarded. But the Dewey catalog system was what you looked at to find the book.
Yeah.
So you basically had 6 or 7 books on Denmark, and you had to pick 3 of those, and you had the encyclopedia. Yeah. And that's it. Today, I could read up on it on Wikipedia. I could go to a video. I could fucking go to Denmark's page of tourism. I could do all those things, and it's just amazing. If you just press Denmark, the shit that fucking comes up. It's amazing how the computer is good and bad.
Yeah.
The computer is so fucking good, but then again, it's so fucking bad. Because we've had this discussion. How many times have you caught yourself
It's a magical device.
It really is.
It's a magical device.
And I'm even trying to get away from writing on there now.
Yeah.
Like I've been forcing myself to leave the house to write jokes. I'll write the book at the house on the computer, but to write jokes, I got to leave the house.
Oh, really?
Yeah, why not? I want to write out in the fucking sun. It's a beautiful day. Maybe the sun will give me some funny fucking energy.
Yeah.
I'm sitting here fucking stale,
I hear you. So I went to the Downtown Comedy Club this past weekend. I saw Red Band.
Well, did you?
Yeah, he came out, and Sam Tripoli was there.
At the Downtown Comedy Club.
And it was a fun night. They had a really fun little lineup,
What was it about? Was it a porn lineup? What was
it? There were other comics there too. That you can't remember everyone's name. But they were really good comics. Like I know I've seen them on TV and stuff or whatever, but I have the mind of a gerbil, as some would attest to out there. So, but it was a lot of fun. And then I went to a party afterwards with this woman named Jennifer Ike, and she says, "Let's go to this party." It was Ben Glebe.
Good kid.
Birthday party, and so we went there, and that was fun. And I was talking to Barry Katz. Barry Katz is a big comedy manager, and it was Ben Gleib's birthday party, right? But this bouncer comes up and he's like, "Move," to Barry Katz, and so Barry Katz moves, and I was like, "Wow, that's so weird." And then Prince walked right by. I almost wanted to pet him.
What club was this at?
It was called the Writers' Room or something behind the Supper Club.
No shit.
Yeah, I know.
Good for you. See what happens?
I had to really stop myself just to pet him like a pretty animal.
Did you pet him?
I was like, my hand rose up, and then I was like, no, Felicia, don't be like that. And right as I was like trying to be like, be cool, the girl I was with, Jennifer, she's like, oh my God, is that Prince? And I was like, oh my God, I should have pet him. It was going to be embarrassing no matter what happened. I should have pet him. You know what I mean?
A fucking Prince.
Yeah.
It was funny because the other night I couldn't sleep, and I got up and I was going through the channels, and VH1 is great after 1 o'clock. It turns into MTV in the 80s. It's just straight up videos from the 80s. And that was one of the videos that came on, Prince and the Revolution, 1999.
Oh, yeah?
And I was looking at Wendy and Lisa and that whole fucking thing they caused in 84. And I remember that I was living in Colorado, and I went back to Jersey. And I was just doing drugs and hustling. And one night I was lifting with my friend Little Lubes, and on the radio, they said at like 5 o'clock, we have an announcement. Prince is playing at like the Rose Garden Club in the city at the Ritz with Nucleus and fucking Sheila E.
Oh, wow.
For $15. And I went, I'll tell you, fucking Prince was amazing. I didn't like Prince up to that, what he was doing. But once I went to see him, I really got his full patois. I didn't like some of the shit, but the music was down. Bro, Prince got like 2 or 3 albums that fucking really rocked. Yeah. Really, there's a lot of fluff in other albums. But what the fuck ever happened to Wendy and Lisa? Remember, they went solo and they did the movie, and it was just so fucking much. Yeah, it was just so much.
That was a fun time, though.
Yeah,
right?
And then Madonna came right after that in '85, right? Because it was Prince and Madonna. Then Michael Jackson came with the fucking Victory Tour, and that killed everybody. Yeah, that shut everybody's fucking lights down. I
went to that, I think, here in LA at the
which one?
The Victory Tour, but I had the worst seats. I couldn't see jack shit. It was kind of annoying. I had the worst seats.
I went to the Victory Tour. That's when he did like 5 nights at the Meadowlands. And then they were closing down for 2 nights because Bruce Springsteen was coming in for 9 fucking nights.
Oh, wow.
9 nights. That's when bands would play 9. Yes used to play 8, 9 fucking nights. Yes. Who nobody knows who the fuck Yes is today. Wow. Yes would do August 26th through September 4th every year at the Garden. Like that whole Labor Day weekend. Like Yes. And you had to mail in for tickets, and in those days there was no Ticket Garden, my friend. You don't know how lucky you were. So when Bad Company would come to town, or Led Zeppelin, they avoided everything. So what they would do is just PLJ would say, "This is the box. Send 4 fucking. You could only get 4 tickets to each person. So like me, you, Wendy, and my wife would get together and go, here's the deal. You send an envelope. You send an envelope. If one of us wins, all 4 of us are going. Correct. Boom." So if we got an extra 4 tickets, then 4 other ones are our friend. So that's the scam you did. Then they tell you 6 weeks later, if you're going to the concert, they mail you a fucking letter. Wow. When you got that letter in the mail, you were so happy. Can you imagine that? Yeah. That was different. It was different then. Ticketmaster, there was no fucking Ticketmaster. It was nothing. It was nothing. You either bought the ticket there, a scalper.
What's your favorite show you saw?
When I was a young man, I got to tell you, there was probably fucking 10 of them. Because it wasn't the show as much as
the circumstance around the show, right? It's totally true, yeah.
It's not the show. Pink Floyd was great, but the circumstances, the 2 times we met and got together, the 30 days before Pink Floyd, because it was a 30-day. We started right after Christmas. It was all Pink Floyd for 6 weeks till February 20th. That's it. Everywhere you went, Pink Floyd, Reefer, countdowns. People had calendars. That's it, But it was, I've gone to great concerts that have sucked. I've gone to shitty fucking. I went to see Sammy Hagar with Shakin' Street way before Van Halen, Ronnie Montrose and Dio, and then Black Sabbath with Dio, and it was horrible. And it was in Philly, which Philly has animals. You understand me? For fans, they're the only football stadium that had a prison or jail in there that they would process you.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Whenever in the 80s, whenever a tour came from England or one of those people, they always started in Philly to get it over with. to get it over with, because whether they were good or bad, it didn't matter. You know, a lot of people like myself watch tours. If the tour starts August 1st, you really don't want to see them August 3rd. Fuck that. You want to see them October 30th when they've been out there for 2 months and they're ripping and fucking rolling. Now is when you want to see those motherfuckers. So they would always start in Philly because it doesn't matter what show you give them. They're going to get spit at. I remember sitting in Philly in the 6th row and watching a guy spit on his fingers and fling it.
Ew.
Just fling it. Everybody in like the first 3 rows were flinging when a band sucked. But my buddy, we stopped, right? We stopped at this place, a gas station. This is how open drugs were. And my friend runs out. He goes, hey, this guy said he'll give us acid for purple ludes, for Quaaludes or something. No, for acid. It was a trade for acid. He had stronger acid than ours. So we gave him the acid. We go ahead. He comes back and it's these fucking huge tablets. Like these huge, this ain't acid, Ray. Go, yes it is. I know everything about acid. I've been doing acid for 10 years. You're only fucking 16. You know what I'm saying? What the fuck, guy? How you doing acid? So he goes, fuck you guys. And he popped all 3 of them. So we're at the concert. We're rocking at this concert. And all of a sudden he falls asleep. So we pick him up. We got to put him in the car. He's hysterical the whole way. We got him in the car, and the whole car ride back, he would wake up and go, where am I? And we're like, we're on the way home. All those purple ludes. And he kept getting furious. They're not ludes. They're acid. Then why the fuck are you sleeping? You know what I'm saying? Why the fuck are you sleeping? So at concerts like that was the concert where the FBI jumped us. Because people would steal bootleg shirts and sell them.
Oh, yeah?
So we had our trunk open and we were eating, barbecuing. We had the drugs in the trunk of the car stashed. Fucking FBI showed up with the bulletproof vest. No weapons drawn, and they made us all get against the car, and they searched us. I'll never forget, I had like in the 80s, you carried a vial with a spoon on it. I had that in my pants. They went in there and didn't take it out, didn't arrest me for it. Wow. They were just looking for T-shirts. Yeah. So, but I fucking seen a fist fight next to me at a concert. And Felicia, when I tell you next to me, I'm not talking about a row away from me. I'm talking about where I could, every time he'd punch him, I'd get hit with the sweat and the blood. Ugh. And when I asked the kid what happened, he goes, the guy grabbed my ass, dog. You can't grab my ass. The guy was grabbing his ass or dry humping him in the seat or something. Like, I went to some weird fucking situations. Why are we talking about this? You got me.
I don't know, because it's interesting.
What's fucking interesting about crazy
your crazy
concert
past.
Stories?
Yeah.
Nah, man. I used to.
Can I tell you my favorite concert story?
Go ahead.
Was the Rolling Stones at Madison Square Garden, and we
what
had.
Year?
It wasn't it was like in the 91.
Okay.
Something like that. 92, 3.
Steel Wheels, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. But I think so. We got really great seats. Accidentally, someone had given some to my ex-husband, and we were sitting there, and there was like Ethan Hawke and Uma Thurman were right behind us, and then a couple other people, and then I put my purse down, and there was a whole thing of weed, like one of those wooden ones that has the fake cigarette, and then it's packed with weed. Remember those? And it was like, no way, and the show was great. So it was the first time I'd ever seen the Rolling Stones.
I tell you, I was telling you guys last week or the week before that I had a hard time lately with this 30-year reunion thing from high school, because it just made me think of what the fuck have I done in 30 years. It really made me think about that the last couple of weeks. And the other thing that really killed me about it was that the bar was so high. Like, I was having so fun then that when it ended, I knew that when I left Jersey at the time, because I had to leave because I robbed that jewelry store, I knew that was the end. You know, when I told you when I seen 4 guys crying in the car. But I went to an AC/DC concert one time when after Bon Scott died. I don't know if you remember this. It was pretty big. AC/DC had a fucking Highway to Hell album. It was fucking amazing. And all of a sudden the singer dies, and they got to replace the fucking guy. And Back in Black comes out, which just
I went to that one.
Yeah, destroyed.
That's pretty nice.
And I remember that they play at the Palladium, and when I tell you this, I'm really fortunate that I wake up every morning. I'm really fortunate I got a great wife. I'm really fortunate I got you in my life. But I'm gonna tell you something that I'm just as fortunate about, that I was one of the few people that got to witness concerts at the Palladium in New York City. It was like going to an IMAX. Yeah. Okay, and it was something that. It was just fucking unique to go to a theater to see a heavy metal band. Yeah. I went there to see U2. I went there to see James Brown. I was very fortunate. But this one time, it was like, we always talk about how everything has to be aligned. Like at 6:30, we had no tickets for AC/DC. And by 8 o'clock, we had third row tickets. We had a half a gram of Coke, and we had an 8-pack of nips and 2 joints. And we went in there, and we thought we were cool. We were in third row. Don't ask me how we got to third row. And then everywhere I would look, it was kids from my hometown. And it was just like 10 deep on one row, 10 deep on the other row, 10 deep. And all of a sudden, we just started all getting together in the middle, just taking over. Like, get out of here. These are our seats. It was something that I still get goosebumps. But at one point in the night, one of the guys took a North Bergen hat off. His name is Dickie Rush. In sophomore year, he got caught fucking an Indian chick in the bathroom on field day. So they canceled field day now in North Bergen. Till this day, they won't have field day because this guy fucked this little Hindu girl. He threw the hat at Angus Young. And I'll never forget, we didn't have cameras then or nothing. Angus Young picked the hat up and put it on. I thought sperm was going to come out of my asshole, my ears, and my eyeballs. Like, I was just so happy.
Yeah.
Because you were a kid. You really had nothing, But there's this guy, like, I went to those, and on the way home, you can't even sleep, just walking home. We would walk over from New York City to New Jersey. That's how crazy we were. We'd sneak over the fucking tunnel. I mean, it was fucking crazy, the things we did. And our parents didn't know. We were 12, 13.
Wow.
By that time, my mother had died. By that time, AC/DC, I went to see AC/DC the first time with Ted Nugent. And again, it was like, I'd go to these concerts and I'd see like 50 fucking kids from my neighborhood. You can't bring that shit. I go to a concert now, I'm bored to fucking pieces.
You know who I really want to go see? And I was thinking about this today. Like, I really want to go see, because it's important. Like, I think, okay, I saw Van Morrison. Who else is important to see? I want to go see Neil Diamond. And he's at the Greek, because my mom used to listen to Neil Diamond all the time when I was a kid. And so I want to just set my eyes on Neil Diamond.
It's funny that you talk about music and people sometimes go, ew, what the fuck is that? I'm one of those guys. But even if I don't like a band's music, sometimes I'll go and watch them. Just to see. Just to see. Maybe I'm missing something, And I've learned that every time I've gone to a concert, I've picked something up from a band that I didn't, I'm not big on cover bands. I never have been. Just because I didn't grow up in that society. I grew up in a disco. When I went out to Colorado and I'd go to fucking a bar to get a gram of blow and I'd see people dancing to Rock You All Night Long at the bar, there's some fucking guy on stage with no shirt on, I'd want to fucking shoot myself. I'm sorry.
It is a crime that happens quite a lot in
I
Colorado.
hope nobody gets
bands.
offended.
Yeah.
But it's just I came from a different sort of training. I went to see real bands in the city at that age, and I went to discos. So for me to go see a band, who are these guys? I remember going to see Twisted Sister and fucking hating them in Jersey, hating them in the beginning. This is Twisted fucking Sister, man. At the Hole in the Wall. I went to see Bon Jovi at the Hole in the Wall. We used to call it a hole in my pants because it was such a dive, but it was a hole in the wall. It was in like an hour from where I grew up, middle New Jersey. I went to see Aerosmith in those small bars, but I really wasn't used to just a band at a bar.
Right.
So I've never been big on just, I fucking want to talk to you. When I take you to a bar, it's to get in your fucking pants. I don't want music talking and ruining my fucking rapture here. I only got one shot at this pussy, you know what I'm saying? So I was never, but I always like going like, I'm really upset that this Friday, I'm out of town. Chaka Khan's at the Hollywood Bowl. Fucking Chaka Khan.
Yeah.
Fucking, and I don't want to hear Chaka Khan. Chaka Khan. I don't want to hear that. I'll stab that bitch. I want to hear the shit she used to do with Rufus, the badass black dude she was with in the beginning, the one that did all those Ain't Nobody, all those little guitar things. That dude's a savage. Tell me something good and all that. Watch those videos. Look at that bad black motherfucker with an orange shirt on with a fucking big old tie and a big old hat. You're like, what the fuck? And you learn from those people. As a comedian, you have to be entertained sometimes, whether it's a movie. But ever since I became a comedian, I started looking at more at live performances. Because even if it's music, you're going to take something from it. You're going to take something small from it. Like I watch videos on YouTube. There's a video by the B-52s that's, to me, it's the most amazing video on YouTube. It's Dance This Mess Around. The little chubby blonde girl sings it. It's amazing. It's amazing. She leaves her fucking pussy on that stage. she's singing about somebody. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But if you see it, you feel it.
Right.
You know, a lot of people sing the same song and they're like singing. It's like us doing a joke for a year. But sometimes when somebody sings, they get down. This bitch, you know, and I learned right there. I'm like, that's what I got to do with my stand-up. I want to give people that illusion that I'm leaving my fucking soul on. So I watched a music fucking video that helped my stand-up, because at the end of the week, we're all fucking artists and we have something to show. You know, when I look at Mike Maxwell, his fucking Charles Bronson every day, and I get like amused. Like I just go like, what the fuck?
No, absolutely. Seeing
Your
people
lunch
live,
boxes,
yeah.
that's real fucking art. Like these lunch boxes, sometimes you look at them and you're like, look at Evil motherfucking Knievel.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, so you learn, even in a year from now, you're going to come to me and go, Joey, I want to do something for a web page. And I'm going to say, where'd you see that? On one of my lunch boxes. Because you don't know.
Right,
You don't know where you're going to fucking get an idea.
You need a lunchbox. You need the Joey Diaz lunchbox.
Oh, my God. With a thermos that says, suck my dick on it. The Joey Diaz lunchbox.
The Joey Diaz lunchbox. That's very funny.
You know, and I don't want to sound like, remember when we were growing up, people would say to us, that ain't music. The 50s was music. Remember those people who were growing up and they put like Sha Na Na and you felt like going, are you fucking, if I had acid, I'd throw it at your face. You know what I'm saying? Putting on Sha Na Na or the old stuff.
Right.
That's how we are now. Like when we listen to your son's music, we're like, what the fuck is this?
No, I like a lot of his music.
No, a lot of this music isn't
but
bad.
Some of it, you're just like, what?
I heard this before. Or this is the Beatles. Or this is Soundgarden. Or this is, you know, you see there, but you see there, if you listen to Blow Up the Outside World by Soundgarden, you fucking hear John Lennon. And if you talk to Chris Cornell, he'll tell you he's a Beatle freak. You know, we all emulate our fucking heroes.
Yeah.
I mean, it's no. Speaking of which, man, I've been on a roll lately watching Lenny Bruce lately.
I know. I went and saw a little Lenny Bruce video at your house, and as we were watching it, I said to you, "Wow, he was the first alternative comic because he had his like notes there." You know what I mean?
He was
like, it was cool to see that when you showed that to me, because you realized, wow, nothing really is new. You know, nothing really is new sometimes. It was interesting.
It's not that it's not new. He was a pioneer in a lot of different ways. Have you ever taken notes on stage? I've always been embarrassed about that.
Yes, I have.
You have?
Yeah.
I've been embarrassed about that.
Yeah.
I always felt that, I don't know, like I wanted to make my mind work, and it doesn't work. So
no,
I
but
should
you
bring
have
the
a really
fucking
good
notes on stage.
I know, bring some fucking notes. Well, you're doing pretty good without those goddamn notes. But but the thing is, it's like I have the worst memory. You have a kick-ass memory. You have a really good memory. I don't think it's normal. Like I think you expect others to have the same memory you have. You know, you have a really good memory, Joey.
I anchored dates. Like today, I was thinking about when I slept with this one particular girl when I was in high school. The fucking date came out of my head. That's how much of a loser I was.
Oh, wow.
The pussy was so good. It was 30 years ago, this July 18th. And all I did it one time. I remember we were talking about that. But I remember walking home going, that pussy was so good. I got to mark this in my calendar.
Oh,
this
really?
was way before phones or, you know, text to yourself, a reminder. You know what I'm saying? So I've made my life a life of calendars. So I refer to an anchor. It's very easy. I graduated grammar school, June of 1978. You know, Roots was on, September of 78. The first day I became a freshman, that whole week Roots was on. My mother died November of 79. My one buddy died August 4th. I remember her the sister fucked up the date one time. And I'm like, no, he died August 4th of 1980. She's like, no, he died in 79. I'm like, bitch, my mother went first. And she was like, how do you remember that shit? Because I've always made notes.
Yeah, because you have
I robbed a jewelry store September 15th, 1982. I kidnapped Kent Vela November 18th, 1987. I could spit. I'm like Dragnet.
No, I know.
That's what. That's
I
where you
know.
can see the influence of Dragnet on me. Dragnet fucking changed me. Felicia, you have to see how beautiful you look. Your hair's all straight.
Well,
I like it curly, but I like it straight too.
You like it straight?
Yeah, 'cause straight, if you suck somebody's dick, they'll get turned on more because they're
I know. I
thinking, who's
think
this
so,
nun
too.
sucking my dick? You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
got nice hands.
yeah.
You look like a Clairol model today.
You're very kind.
Whoever cut your hair has to, but you have to work at your memory. You know,
No, you have to, but you were blessed with a pretty good memory.
You don't
because,
remember
Because you
shit.
have a kick-ass memory now, and the copious amounts of weed that you've smoked, and your memory is still this good, is that's like you just were
But
born
I
with a
cheat.
great memory.
I cheat. That's what I'm trying to fucking break down to you. I'm a cheater. I don't have a good memory. I make anchors. And I try to remember what came close to that area.
Yeah.
So I cheat. I just put anchors in your life. What happened? Anybody could find any fucking
Yeah,
moron.
see, but most of us don't remember to put the anchors.
Sure you do. If I say to you, Felicia, what's the sexiest piece of ass you got? It'd take you 4 minutes to think about it. You tell me, and then you think of the date because something happened. You were in Tampa with the Cuban guy. You don't think I pay attention, do you, dirty bitch? You see what I'm saying?
The Cuban guy in Tampa.
Right. So do you understand me, Felicia?
Yeah.
I don't know what year it was because you never released the
See,
year.
you have a good memory. You
Because
remember
you
the
didn't-
Cuban guy in
You didn't put
Tampa.
that. You know, one of the biggest things we have that we don't do, and I've learned this the hard way because I was the king of it, was not listening. And it surprises me how much we don't listen. And I think it's a compliment to somebody when I say that to you, that I remembered that guy
Oh,
in
absolutely.
Tampa. And I like when people say to me, well, you said this. You're right. Because you have to listen, man. That's why I like the podcast that's not on Ustream. I'm forcing you to fucking listen. It's something that America has forgotten. We're too easy. We got to listen. People like you and I, anytime we want to do something, we didn't have a cassette. We had to listen. There was no MTV came in September of '81, by the way.
Unzip those pants and let me get on it.
Yeah, you know, I mean, it's amazing. We all have great memories. We just don't exercise it. You have to open the faucet to let the water flow. I always tell people, when people contact me, like, what should I write? Write the easiest thing you know, your life. Mm-hmm. You want to become a writer, write the easiest thing you know so there's no misunderstandings. You'll blow yourself away because then the dates will come back to you. You're opening up the faucet. You know what I'm saying? You have to spread your legs to get dick. That's what I'm trying to say, Felicia. You got to spread those cheeks if you want it in the fucking muffler. It just doesn't pop up in there from fucking health. You know what I'm saying? You walking down the street.
Yeah, I'll say. Hey, so let me go to the subject of my father now, off that weird one.
What happened?
No, you know, I put on my Facebook this thing about when I was a kid and my parents got divorced. I was so mad at my dad and I was so embarrassed that my parents were getting divorced. And the teacher asked me, "Hey, so tell your mom and your dad, about the thing that's coming up." And I don't know what came over me. I think I was in like 3rd or 4th grade, and I go, well, my mom can come, but I don't think my dad can come. And she was like, why can't your dad come? And I couldn't say, because he's shacked up with my mom's best friend. So I said, he died, right? And she was like, oh my God, really? And then the next day, my dad comes over to my mom and my apartment. And he's like, why did you tell people that I died? I was all like, ooh. So I just wanted to say to my dad, happy Father's Day, because I'm glad you saw past that little incident in our relationship.
It's amazing when you get caught in a stupid lie like that.
Oh my God, it's the worst.
I fucking got in trouble in the 6th grade was my year of death. It was just amazing. And my biggest fear was my mother coming to school. 2 reasons. I didn't want the kids looking at my mother, and I didn't want my mother seeing what the fuck was going on. Because then she'd get enticed. I didn't want my mother to get enticed. When she'd ask me about school, I'd say, I got it. That was it. There was no drama. I got this. Where's your report card? I'll show it to you in a week. Don't worry about nothing. Everything's beautiful. She gave me that trust. So this fucking Kingwell guy hated me. Me and Mr. Kingwell banged. But Mr. Kingwell had a problem. Mr. Kingwell used to be loose with his hands with kids. So I already knew that 2 parents had knocked the fuck out of him during school hours, which is classic. I only got to witness one of them, so I always had something on him. So one day Mr. Kingwell comes to me and he goes, hey, listen, man, you having a problem with this? I was playing hooky. He goes, you got to bring your parents in. You got to bring your mom in. I wasn't going to ask my stepdad to come to fucking, I wasn't going to ask my stepdad to come to school. And there's no way I could ask my mom because then she'd find out the bio. So I asked one of my mother's friends. I pulled him aside and I go, I'm in a bind, bro. The teacher wants me to bring somebody in. I go, you can pass as my brother. And he's like, come on, guy. And I'm like, I'm telling you, you can pass as my brother. This guy was darker than Michael Jordan. Mm-hmm. But I put him together. I gave him like $50. I go, my mother will never find out. Just come in as my Cuban brother, my long-lost Cuban brother. Nod and smile, tell him that my mother's in the hospital. I never told you about this, Felicia.
No, you did.
I brought this motherfucker in, and he passed it.
Yeah.
Mr. King
I know
was
that's
like,
so amazing.
next time, you're going to have to bring your mother in. No, I just want to pass the message. So sure enough, a month later, I got to call my fucking mother in. And now he's like, I don't want to see brothers, uncles, priests. I want to see your mother. I show up with my fucking mother, and I'm praying to God he don't bring up the fucking brother. And at that point, I'm just accepting the meeting. I'm accepting everything. I'm going to change. But I'm trying to speed this motherfucker up before it gets to the point of my brother. And sure enough, they're shaking hands, everybody hugging. Thank you. My mother's like, oye, tenés que estudiar. You got to study. You got to hit the books. I didn't know about these absences. And the teacher turns around. He goes, by the way, your other son's a gentleman. And my mother's like, son, what are you talking about? I got a daughter in Cuba. He's like, your other son, nice kid, came in. Dog, you have no fucking idea. You have no fucking idea. She just beat me right the fuck there.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you gotta get fucking. My mother would whack me right there on location.
Yeah. Was she like a lot of beatings? I mean, like how long did that last when she was hitting you?
2-3 minutes. She cursed herself. She called me like a bad birth and shit. She called me. In Spanish, there's a name called malparido. That means like a bad birth, you cocksucker, you know. And she would just hit me with whatever was in her hand, her purse or something. And she would get upset and she'd rip her shirt like La Lupe. La Lupe is this Cuban singer. She's on YouTube. That whenever she sings, she gets so emotional, she rips her fucking clothes off.
Yeah.
Tremendous. Look her up, La Lupe. And then the Fonny All-Stars didn't sign her, so she went crazy. She used to hang out at my mother's bar. Great singer. But my mother would rip her top. She was so angry with me. Like, I would get under my mother's skin so much. I could see her going, when are you going to stop driving me fucking crazy?
I bet.
So there was a couple beatings. I remember there was one beating on Broadway in New York for not getting off the mule on 86th Street. Right there's a Citibank there. In the old days, there used to be a mule there. And you as a kid could take a picture on the fucking mule, you know, for a couple dollars and smile. Well, I took a picture with the mule, but I want to take the mule home with me. They couldn't get me off the mule. Me and my mother got into a brawl right on the fucking street.
How old were you?
4.
Are you serious?
5 purses, bloody lips. Oh, yeah. My mother would throw down in the fucking street in those days. My mother had no patience, just like me.
Wow.
Let's go. We got no time for this shit. What do you mean, fucking? And then another time, she threw a beating on me. When else did she throw a beating on me one time? There was one other time. When else? When she found out I was playing hooky with New Yorker Ariza, she smacked me a couple times. The funniest was the time that I didn't make my bed. She kept saying, we're going to have company today. Make your bed. I was a little older and shit. I was hanging out with the neighborhood guys. I was testing her. You know, when you test your mom, I ain't making no fucking bed. I'm a man. You make the bed.
How old were you?
12. I ain't making a fucking bed. I got hair on my dick already. Not fully, but I got a couple of them down there. I'm a man. I don't make no fucking beds. And I would argue, why would I make the bed? She'd say, why would you wipe your ass? You're gonna shit an hour later, you know? We go back and forth about this. Well, this one day I didn't make the fucking bed. And I go over to the Italian's house and they're having a pool party. They got a barbecue. They got families over there. And all of a sudden I hear in Spanish coming, like yelling, JOS Antonio. That's my birth name. They only use that. Telemarketers use that and judges.
That's the scariest noise ever.
JOS Antonio. And I'm hearing this and I'm in the pool, like, you know, dancing to the music, you know, like Staying Alive was on. It was like 76 or something. I'm in there fucking staying alive. And all of a sudden I heard it get closer and closer. And finally I see 2 hands on the fence. And I see her like pulling herself up. She's yelling at me in Spanish, get out of the pool, go home and make your bed. And I'm fucking ignoring her to death because I didn't want nobody to speak Spanish at me in front of my little white friends. That was not going to happen. Everybody in this pool is Italian and Irish and Jewish. Yeah. And my mother's yelling obscenities out the pool. And they're like, who's that lady? I'm like, I have no fucking idea. I just kept swimming, throwing the ball, you know me, twisting by the pool. And I'm like making believe. And she's like, JOS Antonio, I'm talking to you. And I'm like, who's this fucking crazy bitch? Oh, no. And finally, Carmine's like, dog, your mom's out there. She started banging on the door. And he's like, your mom's out there. You better go see her. I think I was 7th grade, going to 8th. Oh, my
God.
So I come out to the front, and she has a stick, like a broom handle. And she's like, I told you to make the bed. And she whacked me one time, right? I'm like, what are you hitting me for? And I start running. And she's like, you making me chase you? Now I'm fucking pissed. So she chases me, right? And she's swatting at me. She falls, you know, the whole mother thing. This is on Bergen Turnpike.
Yeah.
This bitch is throwing sticks at me on Bergen Turnpike. Finally, as I make the cut up the hill, she just throws a stick at me. And I go upstairs to my room, and I'll never forget this, Felicia. I'm making the bed. And all of a sudden, I hear her come in, and she's yelling and screaming, "You motherfucker!" The people there at the house, they're all watching the baseball game. And she comes up, and she's like, "What did I tell you? I tell you to make the fucking bed. You embarrassed me and all this shit." And I go, "Listen, next time, make the fucking bed, all right?" And she just looked at me, and she just ran down those stairs, and she went and got a Bounty roll. You know, Bounty, the paper towel, and she lit it on fire, right? And she was going to fucking burn me to death with that fucking thing. No. She's like, "Don't you ever talk to me in this fucking house like that. You understand me? This is my motherfucking house." She had that thing in her hand. Now, pieces of paper are falling off, and the carpet's going on fire. She didn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
She's like, "You never fucking talk to me like that again. And you don't make that bed, the next time I'll throw it out the fucking window. And you'll have to sleep outside." And you know what, Felicia? She wasn't fucking around.
Yeah, I know.
And right there, I was like, cool.
No.
I understand what it means for you to make the bed. I dig it. I get it.
That's the worst, Joey.
I dig it now. She was particularly, my mom was a clean freak, so that was part of her thing. People come over, your house has to look fucking decent. Now you're going to have your bed made like a fucking...
Yeah.
She's like, "You're like a runaway soldier," or something. She used to call me fucking something.
That's
it's crazy what I used to put
Joey.
my mom through, Felicia. I hope you don't have to go through that.
Oh my God. My little one, he's a little argumentative, He's on me, and he has a memory like you. Remembers everything. I remember 6 years ago when you had me go to Cruz's kindergarten thing for, it's just like, are you fucking kidding me? Anyway.
I was telling Terry that I told you, that you were telling me we were at lunch the other day, Felicia and I, and we were talking about my mother at 38. My mother at 38 had a husband who just died, a kid who, I feel bad now, Felicia. I feel bad about my behavior from 4 to 6 or 7. It was torturous. And if I think about it, it was self-inflicted. I would get her till she was red in the fucking face. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to fucking burn. I was argumentative with her.
Yeah.
And she couldn't take that shit. It was over. Like, this is quick. And I regret that. I really regret that today. I had a good time doing it.
Yeah.
I'm sure she had a good time beating the fuck out of me.
Well, I don't pass any judgment on that. I mean, I think it's, how hard it must have been for her to have a child, to be amongst the people she was doing business with, to be involved with drugs and drinking and bar and bookmaking.
And trying to raise a fucking kid. And you know what, man?
Mom, in New York City and in New Jersey. I mean, that's pretty...
that's why I tell you, Felicia, it's really weird. My kindergarten, 68, I knew what was going on in my house then. I didn't have a dad or nothing, but I knew what was going on in my house. And I remember that my mother used to work, and she'd get home at 4. And every day, in school, whenever it was your birthday in kindergarten, they would do what to do. You remember that? They do what to do. The mom comes and she brings cupcakes. And I remember sitting there on my birthday going, my mother's not going to come. But in my heart, Felicia, between you and I accepted it. My mother's putting food. Seriously, I was that keen at that age. Like, everybody was like, "Is your mom going to come?" And I'm like, "I don't know. She has to work." Like, I was making excuses for her. But when I get home, I'm going to Disneyland. But deep down inside, I knew, and I'll never forget my mother walking in with those fucking sodas, like cans of Coke. Everybody's mom in those days would bring in like iced tea or like fucking soda from ShopRite. One of the supermarket brands, Albertsons or something. When my mother showed up with that case of Coke and like a Carvel ice cream cake, I was like the most popular fucking kid in the class.
Yeah.
And I knew it didn't mean, I wasn't happy because it was about the cake or the soda. I just knew what it took for her to get there. And I knew what it meant to her to be there. Like, I always, like, whenever I think of bad things of my mom or something, I always go, you know what? I think, and that was like the week that she stole my plant and cooked it because she thought it was marijuana. Like when you have to, you have to put a seed in the milk container and watch it grow and shit. Right. Her and Tita, the Puerto Rican woman, were like, "That's marijuana." I woke up one day, the fucking plant was gone. I'm like, "Where the fuck is my plant?" "We smoked it, dog. That wasn't marijuana." I'm like, "I know it wasn't. It was a fucking school project and shit." So I was already keen. So to see her that day come in, and that's why I said to you, Felicia, you don't fucking remember the beatings when you're a kid. When you get older, you don't. And I could sit here and tell you, like, I don't want anybody to think that I got beat up like the people in Sleepers.
No, it was a different time.
No, it was a different time. Everybody
yeah.
smacked their fucking kid in the mouth. People would hit you with a stick. I was there when I seen John Bender's father take John and Bobby and bang their fucking heads together. I had never seen that. That to me was amazing that a dad would do that. He asked them what a double whammy was. And they're like, we don't know. And he fucking just banged them at a barbecue. Both of them are holding on to their fucking heads at this barbecue. You know, I did not get abused. My mother, I had a smart mouth. So my mother didn't mind. My mother was the king of backhands.
Yeah.
And my mother had so much jewelry, and that diamond ring would always cut me. My mother was the king of fucking... I remember one time she threw a beating on me in a restaurant for not drinking milk. And then, on top of that, I had a fever, so she had to give me a needle in the bathroom at the fucking restaurant. And I hate needles and I hate milk. So it was the longest hour of my fucking life, Alicia. And I remember walking... I mean, you know, when you shoot somebody in the ass, they get like a bruise.
Right.
That's if you're a regular person. But if you sit there and fight it, the fucking thing swells. You get air. I would walk around with air in my fucking... ass. My ass is like Beyonce's for fucking years because they shoot it, you know. So I don't want people to think, but like I was telling you, Felicia, not to throw you off track. That's why they'll always remember that skateboard story. Those are the things they're gonna remember.
Oh yeah,
they really are.
I was really proud of myself for being very even-tempered about it, not giving up, and you know, and because it was hard, because there was a point when we were doing it, we had to take it halfway apart, and then I'm with a drill, and I bought a big old drill from the home or Lowe's, I think it was, and then my other one is like bouncing the ball right by my head. You know, it's just like, but I
Thank
kept
God
my
you
temper.
weren't hungover, huh?
Oh, I know.
Can you imagine, like, if you went out till 3 and had to come home at 12? And...
Yeah. But then I had to go work that night, and then I went to that party, so I was done for yesterday.
It's amazing how busy we are.
Yeah.
And I want to let the people know that we're fucking busy, man. And we go from point to point. I mean, this week you're shooting that TV show.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Tomorrow.
Yeah.
You know the host. What's the name of the show?
It is Nick Mom's Night Out.
Okay, because I just seen something else. Something Stilettos.
Stand Up in Stilettos, which is going to be, my episode's going to be on June 30th.
Well, they just got a host for the show.
Stand Up in Stilettos?
Yeah, they just announced it on Twitter.
Oh, for the one now.
Yes.
Nick Mom. Oh, I wonder who it is. I have to look.
You know, I knew the name, but I didn't type deal.
Uh-huh.
So I couldn't really know how to hit it. But I'm proud of you, Felicia. We've both been doing pretty fucking well, and it all started with this goddamn podcast.
Yeah, that was when we put our energy together.
Yeah, we really fucking did it. Don't reach at me, dirty bitch. And I'm happy when I seen that email. I mean, I got a lot of great emails this week. But that email really fucking, you know, sometimes you forget. And I remember, that's right, it's June. And this started as a spoof for us because we live close to each other and the coffee shop's around the corner. And we've had some great guests. In fact, I was going to go meet Salu Batz.
Oh, yeah?
Just now. And then he called back and he goes, my writing partner show. And I was going to sneak Salu Batz in as a guest for 20 minutes. But he goes, my writing partner show. Because he called me out of the blue. He's like, where are you? I go, I'm home. He goes, I'm at the coffee shop having coffee. I go, you want to come on the podcast today? He goes, you know what? I would, but my writing partner's going to be here. So after this, I'll stop over there again and say hello, you know. But
I appreciate that the people really do listen to the podcast and remember things that you say. And I love when people tweet things that you say. And you are a very funny person. I'm so excited that we're coming up on 2 years.
No, this has been a journey for both of us. And we giggle. We come in here. Duncan's funny. Vinny Curto called the other day.
Oh, he did?
We got to get the cop back on. I mean, there's so many things we want to do, you know. And today we just want to do a light fucking podcast, a rewind for you motherfuckers, just to tell you a few stories and fuck around with you guys. What else you got this week? Where are you performing?
Well, I'm doing the thing tomorrow for Mom's Night Out. And then, my son's birthday party is this weekend, so I'm going to really focus on that.
What kind of gift should I get this fucking kid?
You can get him, what could you get him?
What do you get a 13-year-old boy? You know what I'm saying? It's tough. Besides like a Playboy magazine and a helmet.
You know what?
Look at Felicia. She just overcame that fucking remark. She's like, Joey, I'm not even going to listen to that because it's disgusting.
No, you could give him cash.
Cash? Beautiful. Yeah, what's he doing this summer? Are they going away?
Well, he's taking a photo class this summer, so that'll be fun.
So he's going to take pictures?
He's going to take
just
pictures.
Just like his mommy? He's going to take pictures of those young cheerleaders once he gets them over here.
Whatever he wants to take pictures of.
Look at you, Felicia. Mom, a good-looking mom in this world. Fighting by yourself, trying to sling some dick and be a mom and do a podcast.
I had a date and I'm going to go on it. I think I have 2 dates coming up. Oh, shit.
This week, you had 2 dates?
I have 2 dates.
You've been on a dry spell lately, shit.
No, I mean I know I am just spacing them, you know, like I like to go, no, don't laugh at me, because here's the thing. I like to like go out with 3 guys in a row and just go meet them, and then think about that. And then if one is fun, and if not, then I'll wait a couple weeks and then bang it out. Because, you know, when you're a single mom, you have no fucking time, you know. So if there's a little window of time, bangity, bangity, bang.
You've been dry lately. You haven't gotten a stabbing in a few weeks, have you? When was the last time you got a stabbing?
It's been a while, Joey.
Are you serious?
It's been a while. It's been like probably like 3 months.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, you must be fucking dying.
Yeah,
You must be dying. Yeah. If it goes another week, I'll let you sniff my dick or something like that, just to bring you back. I'll give you a pair of undies or something just to keep you alive until you get a stabbing. You know what I'm saying? Just something that you know. I'm a friend, dog. I understand what it's been like. A lot of people understand that. A lot of people say they're your friend, but they won't suck your dick. What type of friend are you? You know, I haven't gotten a stabbing in 3 months, and you're standing here with a bikini on. At least let me sniff your fingers. Something.
Oh, no.
Some people, they got no
I'm
class.
sure I'll manage it on my own, but thank you very much for that kind offer.
I'm telling you, I got these little pajamas from the YMCA. You sniff those things, it's heaven.
Oh my God.
It's like old man pee and sweat and nutsack all rolled up. Because that old man pee is fucking disgusting.
Yes.
My pee when I was a kid wasn't bad. Now I can't even tolerate it. Especially in the morning, it smells like a fucking dump. I can smell.
Bet it does.
Oh my God.
A couple of different dumps.
Fucking weed and weed cookies in there and fucking vitamins and oh my God. You know.
Wow, that almost makes me not want to be with a man at all, Joey.
No, I'm serious. You know, I love you to death and shit like that. So if you need anything, let me know. You know, I'm your buddy here.
Do us a favor. If you like us, go to iTunes and leave a goddamn review. Because it helps drive our numbers up. And we would appreciate that so more people can look at and hear the podcast.
Congratulations. We were number 9 last week. I want to congratulate us. And now a word from our sponsor. Do you have an itchy ball sack? Do you have headaches? Is your blood pressure high? Go to the fucking doctor. Go to ballcancersucks.com. Read the webpage. Order a shirt, a banner. Support. We're all going to suffer from ball cancer at one point or another. Read the fucking fine print. Ballcancersucks.com. Go over there. If you see something you like, buy it. You get 20% off in the box. Put B&B 20, and that's it. You're good to go. Shipping, you'll get it 3 days later, and you're supporting a good cause. Also, for our friends over at taintedvisionart.com, check out their webpage. I was going to meet Darren tomorrow, tomorrow. I don't know what's going on, but we might hook up tomorrow. But give them a look, Tainted Vision Arts, and give my man, ronsmart.net, a look over with the leathers. He's going to send me some leather pajamas. I'm going to give them to Felicia so she can go to a Sons of Anarchy party and get a little fucking stabbing. I'm planning this stabbing.
I saw one of the Sons of Anarchy on OkCupid.
Which one?
I don't know, but he's one of the Sons of Anarchy.
How do you know?
Because he had a picture of him and his things on the Sons of Anarchy set.
I'll tell you what, there's a blonde guy on there that every woman in America loves.
Yeah.
The blonde kid, the son to the chick from Married. I know it ain't him.
No, it ain't him. No, it ain't him.
Because even Emilio's like, bro, women are climbing the fences when he's on a set.
Yeah. You know what I liked is he had this picture. And, you know, usually when guys, girls, we make fun of you guys when you do this. They take a picture of themselves in the bathroom mirror.
Right.
And this guy had a picture, and he's like 50-something cut. And it made me laugh because usually when you see that, you're like, douchebag, right? But on the bottom of the picture, he's like, if you don't appreciate the dedication it took to get this, then don't even reply to me. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, wow. If you got it, yeah, fucking do it, dude. You know?
I'm proud of you, Felicia, you sexy bitch. Knock 'em dead tomorrow?
Yes, we'll see.
Where are you going to be next week? Anywhere? Any dates coming up?
Just what we're going to do in San Francisco.
That's it. But before that, I've got Governors this weekend in Long Island. I've got the Ice House Chronicles on the June 27th, the stories. I've got July 11th with Felicia Michaels at Cobb's
I'm coming to that.
Comedy Club in San Francisco. Get your tickets now. This is going to sell fast. And then me and Felicia will be in Sacramento the rest of the weekend from July 12th through the 15th. Get your tickets, cocksuckers. Don't come crying to me later. Felicia,
yes,
thank you for another fun-filled week. A podcast. I love you. You look beautiful today.
You too, Joey.
And that's it. We got to get this going for you.
All right.
I get you a flying cock or something.
All right.
You sexy motherfucker.